Kendall Trotter.
And I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update. Today, Steve and I are going to talk a little bit about the vertical Vegas that's been going on. That if you've been watching the news, you've probably heard a lot of condos going up. Not as many as was proposed at once. Only about, I think, maybe a third are actually coming to fruition, Steve.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that. But there are some big sky-rise towers going on. So let's talk about that a little bit. Are these the great deals?
Well, there's a lot of another foreclosure fallout for condos that's causing a huge problem. When the condo craze was going on, the high HOA fees didn't come into a factor when these investors were buying the condos, because they assumed that they were going to flip them, so they didn't have to worry about the high HOAs on a monthly basis. Right. Well, now that they're not able to flip them, they can't afford the HOAs, or they're not paying them. This fallout is causing the HOAs to actually some run out of money. You're starting to see some complexes that were $1 million units, $500,000 units. The hallways have vomit on them, stains, mold growing. There was one.
That's not good. If I paid $500,000 for a home, I don't want to walk out to that, because I paid for a certain lifestyle, correct? I mean, that's what they're buying. They're buying lifestyle.
Correct, but the HOA doesn't have the money to maintain the properties now.
Because of the too many vacant units, because of a lot of foreclosures going on.
Yeah, the foreclosure is obviously the number one problem with these facilities not being able to maintain. There's numerous high-rises that have cut the amenities, such as the pool. They've drained some of the communities have actually, condos have drained one or two of the pools in the complex. The hallways, instead of having, for example, they might have 40 lights in the hallways, now they just have 20 to keep the electrical power bills low. Some of the residents have actually had to maintain some of the facility themselves, such as taking shifts for security. Some of them have actually mowed the lawns, trimmed the bushes, because the landscapers are obviously not going to work for free.
So basically what you're saying is a lot of these HOAs are close to broke.
Very close. Some of them are already broke. The condo, it's exasperated with the condo because the fees were so expensive, because the maintenance was so expensive. So now with the high rate of foreclosures in numerous complexes, it's becoming a huge problem. The biggest problem is for the banks that are going to start owning these units. But unfortunately, the people who get hurt the most are the people actually living there, right, because they're the ones that are going to have to put up with the alarm going off, the smoke alarms.
Sure.
In the vacant units, the smoke alarms are going off because the power's off. I mean, that gets annoying after a while.
And it's no secret that a lot of these were bought as investment properties. I mean, you're talking Las Vegas Strip properties, downtown Las Vegas properties, and who would have thought, hey,
Right, and investors aren't going to want it. Nobody wants to purchase a $1 million property or any kind of investment with a huge unknown. So if you're going to buy a property and the HOA is currently $800, which is common for a couple of the complexes that are the high-rise in Vegas, if the current HOA is $800, well, to maintain what it's currently going on, it's obviously going to go up a lot higher. So people don't want to take that risk of what it could go to. Go to 15, could go to 2,000, or they could say, well, we need a lump sum from, let's say there's 30 people.
They'll get an assessment.
Right.
Because what it takes is, if it's $800 a month to run that property times however many owners there are, if you have a certain amount of owners, 30%, however
right,
many, all of a sudden, now you're talking, you have to have $1,200 a month from each owner to have the same amenities.
Yeah, there's several high-rise complexes where there's at least, mid-rise, high-rises, at least 100 units on the market. So you figure 80%, I know for a fact that there's one complex where there's 100 units that aren't paying the HOA fees. Right. So it's about $80,000 a month that they're not receiving that they expected.
Right.
So there's one complex that I know that the elevator had a water leak in it, and it still hasn't been fixed all the way from one of the higher floors. I don't want to give away the floor, it might give away the complex.
Yeah.
but the water leak in the elevator shaft has been going on for like 3 months. The carpets on almost every floor are stained or smell.
Really?
The people that are losing the units are just letting them, people rent them to party, and the homeowners that are living there, obviously,
Right.
are
Got problems.
right. What are they going to do? Let their choices to keep our in or let it go, and the fees that are going to be in the future are unknown, and the double whammy is a lot of these people that bought these condos, most of them got in for no money down. Well, now you're lucky to get in for 20-25% down. So it's just a snowball effect that's causing these condos to really take a tumble. And no matter how low they go, if you can't tell somebody what the assessment is going to be in the future because of so many foreclosures, so many vacancies, they're not going to, most of the investors aren't going to take that chance when there's so many other ways to make money right now in real estate.
Very risky. I don't think what Steve and I are saying is don't buy a high-rise condo. We would like to say really do your homework. Some of these high-rise condos are nice, and some of them have been good to people who have bought them and even sold them and gotten out of them. However, there's problems at many properties, and when you get your HOA packet, which in Nevada we call it a seller's packet, you're going to get like 10 different sets of documents, and you're going to get the budget, and you're going to get the funds held in reserves. Most people don't even read that. It was
Right, in
written
the
by
past, they just
lawyers,
assumed,
and it's pretty boring stuff. However, it may be a good idea to really take a close look and to know what kind of HOA you're buying into, and to know if you're going to have to be mowing the grass yourself.
Yeah. Well, another thing, a lot of people bought these condos because they didn't want to worry about the maintenance of a house.
Right.
Well, now they have the maintenance because the HOA is not taking care of it. But one of the number one things you can do if you're going to look into buying a high-rise or a mid-rise or any kind of condo complex is to see how many are on the market and see how many are vacant. Because you can gauge off that. If there's a lot on the market and a lot of them are vacant, then there's a very good chance that most of the ones that are vacant,
You could have a foreclosure problem in your complex.
yeah, are not paying the HOA. Because if they're vacant, they're probably going to say, hey, you know what, when I sell it, I'll pay the HOA. Take a chance like that, especially if it's $800-900 a month. Some $1,200.
Taking the listing today, former client that bought one of these and doing the comps, and there's 9 vacancies there's 9 on the market for sale, all of them vacant, every single one of them. The builders are still selling these, not even sold out. So my advice to him is it's probably a good time to get out now.
Yeah.
Because
It's a good indication that there's going to be a problem.
yeah,
These was only 9, not 100, 140.
not that big of a complex.
Yeah.
I do think we're about out of time for this. If you have any questions on this topic, please feel free to give us a call. Our numbers will be on the screen after the end of this video. I'm Kendall Trotter.
I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update.